Hi, I'm Josh, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is the 10th episode, in which we have landed on Minmus, and in which tripping over my words, so much to say. This episode, we're gonna plant a flag on Minmus, apparently. This planet, okay, get some more science data from space around the moon. I think we have a satellite there, don't we? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So, yeah, first off, let's go to that satellite, the Rangarity of the moon, and transmit some scientific data. So we get some more money and some more science. Because this costs us nothing. Just a bit of time. Just a bit of time. And that's another contract completed. Awesome. Yay. Okay. And back to the Space Center we go. What I wanted to say and what I wanted to do was to build a refueling rocket. Now that's not too difficult. You just build an AI-driven missile, but I'm thinking here, is it possible for me to start unlocking bigger AI cores? Because I'm actually wondering where those are. They're not over there, they're not over there, not over there, they're not over there. They're nowhere to be found. The basic AI stuff is in the middle somewhere, so you'd think, is this the... No, I saw... I don't actually know where the more complex AI cores are. But, yeah, we only have small ones now, and I want the medium-sized, so that I can make a far more easy rocket. So, let's see, it's not here, it's not there. And all this other stuff is really expensive on the science. I might unlock this thing once we get 160 science, so that we can see what's behind there. Yeah. This is for the asteroid redirect mission, which is also pretty fun. At any rate, we're going to have to jalopy something together for a resupply mission. Oh yeah, we need a starting part. A Probodyne Octa will do, and we're going to do it the same way we did the AI on the Velen. And that is to use these little tin cans, tinfoil plates, small parts adapter for FLT-based fuselages, to be exact, to build for ourselves the, just give me a sec here, times 8, the Elekk Resupply vehicle. I'm going to put on a T800 fuel tank, as in that's the fuel tank I'm going to be using to carry the fuel that I'm going to take there. And I'm also going to be adding, besides just RCS fuel, I'm also going to be adding a few RCS fuel tanks. Now I'm going to be doing 8 of these this time, because we have a shortage of RCS fuel. That's a tongue twister, surprising tongue twister. What else do we need? We need a flywheel. A flywheel. That one works. Medium-sized. Flywheel. And RCS thrusters, of course, to keep things under control and to allow us to dock. Yeah, I think I need to move these up a little bit, just for looks, nothing else. Yeah, that works. Great, the Elekk. It's surprisingly complex for something named after a ginormous elephant with multiple fangs. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. SPL times 2 and then times 2, I think. And a battery bank. Do we have room for an inline one? No point. Let's just do this. Put the action groups at 7. Toggle panels, toggle panels. Awesome. And we can open this thing up, and that turns it into a more streamlined docking port. And seeing as this is going to be the top of the rocket, that's great. I actually wanted to call the multiple Rockomax Jumbo launch vehicle the Elekk, but I've decided not to name any launch vehicles. I have few names to spare, and I don't want to get into orcs. There's Draenei and there's orcs on Draenor, and I prefer the Draenei to the orcs. Strongly prefer the Draenei to the orcs. It might be wise, actually, to add just a little bit more fuel to this thing, because it does need to go all the way out to Minmus, and I don't have a nuclear-fueled engine yet, So, yeah, there we are. This should do. Does mean, of course, I need to lower these down a little bit. Some more room for everything. But, I do want to keep this thing balanced in case I need to dock it to the Velen and start dragging it. So, yeah. Is this thing still connected? I don't think so. Well, it sort of is, but I want to reconnect this thing. Good. Okay. That's everything, I think. Yeah, I can do this. Awesome. Yeah, the next stage is gonna be, is the staging okay? Yeah, the staging is fine. The next stage is gonna be a thing that gets us into orbit, and then with some asparagus attached. I'm just gonna cut that because I can just set up the asparagus. It's relatively boring. And a 1, and a 2, and a magic. And done. I've replaced the LV45 I picked up with LV30s, and I gotta say, it's relatively difficult to do this stuff with smaller rockets, because the fuel lines and fuel tanks are differently proportioned to each other. I think I set it up correctly though, so let's save this thing and exit, check for contracts once again, and then launch it, and send it on its way to Minmus. I think it's going to be just fine, so... Okay, splash down, suborbital trajectory, stack decoupler in flight, parameters, blech. Right, whatever. On we go. On we go. And then we might actually have enough time to plant the flag on Minmus. So, yeah. Where is it? The Elekk Resupply vehicle. Launch. We have plenty of money and plenty of reputation left, so... This thing is rather expensive for what it does, but we don't have space planes yet, and we don't have a ferry. This thing can, however, ferry fuel, I think. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Oh, I keep saying that. I should stop. Oh. Oh well, that worked. Surprisingly. That's a flaw that will need to be corrected. Thankfully, these things are tougher than they look. That could have gone horribly wrong. I also realized I didn't take any space readings from Kerbal orbit with me. I could have strapped on like a satellite to do space readings for Kerbal orbit, but I'll do that with my next refueling rocket, if there is one. I think I'm going to send this thing on its way though. And yeah, and then I'm gonna do another landing, and I'm gonna cut it when we start our descent, and then I'm just gonna cut it in the interesting moments, in the beautiful moments, I think. And then between episodes, before the 11th episode, I will probably have everything on Minmus done. Of course, if this thing arrives before then that'll be the start of the 11th episode. We'll see how it goes, and I mean it this time. All right, we're not quite where I thought we would be on our second stage, but things slow down as we detach more stages, so I'm not really that upset. It helps that this thing is non, so let's activate that engine. Yeah, this thing's definitely still flawed, but thankfully it's unmanned, so that's not a big problem. Heck, even if it burns most of its fuel and just gets the RCS there, that's a net success, I suppose. Detach. Goodbye. Boom! Yeah, this thing needs, what do you call it? Those things I put on the top of my early pods. Sepratron solid rockets, just to keep things nice and safe. This thing is heavily flawed. And to top it all off, we're not even in a proper orbiting configuration yet. We need to go faster and faster. A lot faster. Set Minmus as target. What we can do is change our angle of attack. Yeah. Really? Yeah, we gotta go southward just a little bit. Just a little bit. How is our fuel? Not the best. Not the best, I admit. but we're getting very close to a same inclination as Minmus, and then we need to level things out again. Ooh, we're going too much. That's bad. That's it. That's as good as we're going to get here, I suppose. Yeah. Horizontal. Starting to lose control. The fins don't do anything anymore, and I only have one flywheel. I really want the bigger probe core with the built-in flywheel because that will cut down on size. It also has a bit of a built-in battery, I think. It's basically more compact and maybe even more cost-effective. I don't know, but it's definitely more elegant. And elegant is good, usually. Well, not morally good, but, you know, technically good. And I'm engineering here. Hey, I'm engineering here. What you doing interrupting my engineering here? Am I gonna go past the moon? Well, that will mess up my inclination. There's really no point. Then again, this is a 4-minute burn, so may as well give it a go. And we're gonna be all the way over there. Yeah, let's circularize first and then see what we do. And that's gonna be most of our burn already. So, yeah, I might as well just ignore the moon for once. Usually it's not that common for me to actually use the moon to get the Minmus. Then again, I tend to over-budget my rockets even more and save scum if I'm not over-budgeted enough. I actually do tone down my save scumming for this, guys. Only when things go cataclysmically wrong in a way that I could not have anticipated, not really, do I reload. And I haven't done it recently, so there's that. I am going to have to save and reload stuff when I play Sacrifice, though. I'm intending to play Sacrifice when I'm finished with this, and I think I'm going to be finished with this game when we've landed on Lathe with a semi-permanent base, I think. We might do some more expeditionary stuff, but when we have basically a vacation base on Lathe where wealthy millionaire Kerbals can go, I'm going to be sated. The final image of this series is going to be Jewel in Lathe's moon, Jewel in Lathe's sky. And that's going to be the ideal, anyway. How is my fuel doing? It's doing fine. It's doing fine. I say that, well, I still have this gigantic fuel tank left. So, I'm going to do a shortcut until this fuel tank is burned out. And time freeze. Well, good news everyone. This rocket does not have enough fuel to properly get into orbit. It does look really cool though. Look at this thing. I'm going to open the docking shield. Mwah. I'm hoping this engine has enough fuel in it to get to Minmus and deliver the RCS fuel. And I'm going to do another, like I said, another science sojourn on transit. But as it's looking now, this thing's going to need another stage in the middle to help the transfer, if we're going to actually ever send over liquid fuel. But thankfully, we still have like a huge reservoir of liquid fuel in that big orange tank, which is still stuck to the science station. So yeah, no worries yet. This thing will still make it eventually, so that's fine. Just gonna have to reset this thing though, and add another maneuver. Yeah. It's telling me to go even steeper, which I don't mind too much. But it does mean we might not actually make it out of the atmosphere, and this is going to be a loss I will be willing at least to chalk up to experience, and actually, you know, spend the money, spend the reputation, or whatever, and just keep going. I can redesign the thing and launch a new one next episode. These are untested. These are just purely by feel. I gotta say, you gotta admit this thing looked beautiful. So this final stage is not going to be changed. Hell, with this bit here, it even looks like a trunk. It is the Elekk fuel transport, except for the fuel part, which it is currently burning up in a vain attempt to stay in orbit. Then again, it may not be too vain because we're still going. Yeah, if I speed things up now and I go a little bit more vertical. Am I in orbit? Yes. No, I am actually I'm actually currently in the atmosphere, which is bad. So we might not make it. No, we might not make it. Then again, we just passed our apoapse. We might just make it. Let's see. 66, 70, 73, 74, 75. See? We made it. We made it, I think. Yes. Yes, we made it. We made it into orbit. Awesome. It's not exactly the best orbit, but we made it into orbit, and we still have a half a fuel tank left. I didn't think we were going to make it, but we made it. But this thing is going to need a big redesign, though. Like, it needs another middle stage between the final part of the asparagus staging and the stage that's actually going to go to minimus to help us boost into orbit completely. Okay, from here, I want this part to extend a little bit outward. And speed up until we're out of the frickin' atmosphere. The atmosphere is providing a little bit of drag, but not enough to keep us down. Yeah, when this thing's on its way, let's see here. What am I going to do? When this thing's on its way, I'm going to do some rapid cuts showing you the beauty moments of our second descent to Minmus, the planting of the flag, and the return. I think that's what I'm going to do. As you know, it takes a few days to get to Minmus, so yeah. I'm going to occupy the in-game time by actually flying another mission, make it slightly more realistic, because every time I make my Kerbals twiddle their thumbs, I do nothing else on the planet. And that's just not stylish. We're still 7 minutes away, and we're still in the frickin' atmosphere. Drag is dragging us down. Gradually, slowly, is dragging us down. But we're in space, which means time acceleration's full power, well, not full power, but enough power is at our disposal. Let's see if we're going to be 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Don't overshoot. 1 minute. It sometimes just lags at the exact moment where I need to stop the clock. No, that's the wrong way. That would be bad. Ah, well. I am genuinely amusing myself, despite my failing, which is, let's just say, it's character development for a non-fictional character. Kaboom! I did not expect this to work. I did not expect this to work. I mean, absolute failure is terrible, but... Ooh. Did that thing just crash into Kerbal? No, it's over there. Whew. I could plot its orbit, but I'm not phased at the moment. Might plot its orbit later. Right. We're stable. We're stable, so that's good. Remove the node. And let's see how the hell we're going to be able to get to Minmus from here. At least the ascending and descending nodes are in the right shape. Yay! Dear God. Is this going to land us at Minmus? Sort of. Whoa. Did I just... Yes! Okay, that's another bit of an extreme burn, so I'm actually going to see if I can't level it out a bit more. Presumably, if we take a little bit... Did you see the moon there? Yeah. Yeah, I see Minmus over there. What's the matter? Okay, we're going to be... Is that Minmus there, or is it just us? No. We're definitely going to be in the wrong place if we do it that way. This is going to be the only way to fly. Unless we go by the moon, which I'm not in the mood for. I just want to do it without the moon for once. I've had enough of your help. I don't know where that... Was that original? Yeah, it wasn't original and not too good. No. Oh, that's the moon interfering, not Minmus itself. I thought I had something there, though. Or that all the way over there? I don't know. Yeah, that was here. On the way back, which is, again, pretty good, because then you have an easy way to get back home, I suppose, and you don't shoot by the moon. I keep saying planet, but it is a somewhat circular object floating through space. Even moons are planets, right, guys? Right? Right? Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm in the groove. Blue's in the goo. I gotta say, I'm not doing this to get views, but I like views. You know, I'm putting this thing out there to be seen, obviously, but I'm not doing it as a vocation or calling. I'm just doing it for fun, but though a part of the fun is that I know people are seeing this. And the fact is that a bunch of the stuff I watch is a bunch of professionals who keep an amateur's air about them. And I have no intention of ever exceeding amateur status. I prefer not trying too hard. I prefer not trying too hard. Saying that, we're not going to make it this way. I'm going to need to go by the moon, because if we do it this way, we're too slow. So this orbital inclination thing's nice, but it's not too useful. We are going to need to go by the moon. And thanks to our orbital inclination, the points where we can go to the moon are limited. Gotcha. Oh, no. I found you. Kidding me. Yeah, thanks to our orbital inclination, the points where we can go to the moon are limited. Tick. Perhaps not so limited as I thought. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do just fine. That's still a 3-minute burn with this rocket, but we'll get there. 2 minutes away, 1 minute away, and there we go. I don't think actually in this episode there's going to be time left for another landing and planting a flag. Nope, I think I'm going to end the episode when I've actually managed to get to the moon. This has been far less successful than I'd like, but still, as I said, we have plenty of liquid fuel left, and this solid fuel can take its time to get there, so I'm not too phased. Not too phased at all, no. Can it be flattened or extended? Why am I gonna... It's too much. We're still gonna be going downward. Okay, that's it. And then slow down? I'm just checking how I can make this a more easy approach to the moon. But I think going downward is not the best solution here, because I just want to go to the moon. Add maneuver. Perfect. No. This is perfect. My inclination might be giving me this like weird effect, but I don't care. It can be corrected or actually used. Thing is, if I stay on my velocity, this part, I'm probably going to be able to swing by the moon eventually. It will just take me some fuel and some time. If the absolute worst comes to worst, I can just dock this one with another one of its kind, perhaps without the heavy RCS tanks, and, well, then refuel it. Refuel the refueler. And that would be horrendously expensive, though. But considering we have satellites around both of our moons, and we might actually be able to sneak a satellite on the top of this guy's brother, we'll be fine, I think. Yeah, because then we can do science from space around Mimas, around Kerbal at any time. That has its own value. I just hope this, yeah, the highest point of my orbit is getting higher and higher at an accelerated pace. So that's good. That is very good. Or at least that's not as bad as I'd feared. I mean, you remember, my fear was that this thing was going to crash, and I was willing to accept that. So everything now is a gain. Everything now is a boon. And this is going to be the moon in just a few seconds. Exactly. Yep, perfect. Absolutely frickin' perfect. Absolutely wonderful. I am not complaining. And then we manipulate our orbit in some insane way. Just give me a sec here. I think I can get us all the way to... This is 1 day away, so I'm not going to risk switching over to the satellite. I know I'm pushing the limit of my appointed time here, but I really want to get this done. I really want to get this done. It's in my head now, and I know that if I... Nope, I need to stay near the moon now. It's in my head now, and if I leave now, I'm going to have to continue the, quote, next episode in just a few seconds. Then again, that's not the worst thing in the world. But I still would like to prefer to have this be in you guys' heads, and not have to wait a day or whatever. I just want to make it convenient for all of us. And I'm going to stop the recording also, interrupts everything. Now, if I slow down here, it actually... Whoa. Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. And then, yeah, there's a rendezvous in there somewhere. So, let's see how we can do that. 20 seconds. "20-second burn" is actually really... slow down! And we missed it. We missed it again. Yeah, I'm going to quick load because that was one of those lag moments I talked about. That's one of those lag moments I talked about, and it's totally excusable for me to quick load and quick save that. Don't approach too fast because that leads to lag, blah blah blah. Yep. And then we got to slow down over there. Over there. Perfect. 28 minutes, 20, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, yeah, now, basically. Woomph. And we're going around the planet backwards, which means we might also be encountering Minmus backwards, which might be very, very bad. Then again, that can be solved in a whole bunch of different ways. If we get a really springy orbit near Minmus, you bet I'm going to say awesome to that. Okay, how far am I going to push this? I'm actually going to reset this. No, not delete it. Fine, delete it. Okay. How are we going to do this? Are we going to wait until we're in space running around? Maybe. One moment. Cut. And we're back. Sorry about that. Let's see here. We want to get to Minmus with this guy. And I could just as well... nope, I need to slow down further. Nope, but that will get me all the way to... That won't do me any favors. Best thing I can do is slow down until we're almost captured by the moon. That will catapult me someplace nice. But what is almost? That's the question. Well, I can always reverse course when we are captured by the moon. But I think, yeah, that's it. Reverse course now. And I think I am going to end the episode on that note. It's still a bit of a mystery whether or not this amount of fuel will get me to Minmus. But I think it will, and if not, we might just have to cut into our RCS reserves. It might be like all for nothing, but it is better than nothing. So, back to the Space Center we go for now, and this is where I'm gonna stop for now. So see you at episode 11, where we might rendezvous, and where we definitely are gonna go land on Minmus and plant a flag. Land for the second time, and this time remember to plant a flag.